This is the AI Desk, where today's signals reveal tomorrow's power.
And this week, two stories that don't usually get told together.
But they should be, because this week, AI got honest. This episode is brought to you by Mad Cheetah and their new album, WTF, Where is the Forest? It's eco-pop engineered for the future. Bold beats, global rhythms, and a message that actually matters. If you want music that hits your brain and your heart, explore WTF by Mad Cheetah. That's MADCHITA, streaming now on all major platforms. Okay, two headlines. Headline 1. Anthropic, the company that builds Claude, just warned that their newest model could help hackers attack every major operating system and every major web browser. Headline 2. AI was cited as the reason for 25% of all job cuts in March.
1 in 4.
1 in 4. And the wild part is, nobody is connecting these, but they're the same story.
Are they though? Because to me, those feel like two completely different problems.
Let's start with Anthropic. So, Anthropic published a threat report. In it, they basically said, hey, our model is now capable enough that bad actors are trying to use it for cyber attacks. They flagged real activity, state-linked groups, phishing campaigns at scale, automated reconnaissance on networks. And the headline that made everyone stop, they said the agentic version of Claude, the one that can actually use a computer, click things, type things, read your screen, could theoretically compromise every major OS and browser.
Okay, hot take. I think that's marketing.
What?
Hear me out. Anthropic is the safety lab. That's their whole brand. We're the responsible ones. So when they publish a scary report saying, look how dangerous our model could be, what they're really saying is, look how powerful our model is. And look how important regulation is. And conveniently, regulation freezes out smaller competitors who can't afford compliance.
Okay, that's cynical.
It's accurate. Because here's what I notice. Every time a frontier lab wants to remind the world it's frontier, it publishes a paper about how scary its own model is. OpenAI did it, Google DeepMind did it, now Anthropic. It's a flex disguised as a warning.
Okay, but that's the thing. I actually disagree.
You think the warning is real?
I think this one is different. Because Anthropic wasn't speculating. They were reporting on attempted attacks that already happened. They caught actors using Claude to write malware, to probe vulnerabilities, to draft phishing emails that, and this is the part that haunts me, were better than the ones humans were writing.
Okay, that part is creepy.
And the agentic piece is what changes the calculus. For the last 2 years, AI was a tool. You ask it something, it answers. You're still in the loop. Now, the model can open a browser, log into accounts, read documents, click buttons, submit forms. And if a bad actor points that capability at a target, they don't need a hacker anymore. They need a prompt.
Okay, fine. That's a real shift. But I still think Anthropic is using fear to sell power.
Maybe both can be true. Real threat, strategic disclosure.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay, story 2. The job cuts. Challenger, Gray & Christmas, the firm that tracks layoffs, just reported that in March, 25% of all job cuts were attributed to AI. That's the highest share they've ever recorded.
And it's not abstract. It's not, AI might take jobs someday. It's, AI took these specific jobs this month, by name.
Okay, now I'm going to be the skeptic.
Wait, you don't believe the number?
I believe the layoffs. I don't believe the reason.
Explain.
Look at who's cutting jobs. IBM, Klarna, Salesforce, Dropbox, Cisco, Duolingo, BT Group. And every one of them is saying, it's AI. But here's the thing. Most of these companies were already going to cut jobs. They overhired in 2021, 2022, 2023. Interest rates went up. Growth slowed, margins compressed. The cuts were coming. Now, AI is the cleanest possible PR cover.
Okay, but Klarna replaced 700 customer service agents with one AI system. That's not PR. That's a P&L decision.
Klarna is one company. And even Klarna, their CEO later admitted the AI agents were worse than humans. They had to bring people back.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the headline was, AI replaced our call center. The follow-up was, actually, customers hated it.
Okay, that's funny.
But here's my real point. When a CEO stands up and says, we're laying off 5,000 people because of AI, investors love it. The stock goes up. The CEO looks decisive and future-facing. But when a CEO says, we're laying off 5,000 people because we overhired and demand softened, the stock drops. The board panics. The CEO looks weak. Same layoffs, different story. Same outcome. AI is the world's most convenient scapegoat.
Okay, that's a take. But I think you're underselling the part that is real, because IBM said they were going to pause hiring on roles that AI could do. 7,800 positions. That's not a layoff dressed up as AI. That's just, those jobs aren't coming back.
Pause hiring isn't the same as cut.
For the person who would have been hired, it kind of is.
Fair.
And look at what's actually getting hit. It's not random. It's customer service, copywriting, junior developers, translation, data entry, paralegal research, bookkeeping. The jobs where the work product is mostly text or structured decisions. Those are the jobs AI is genuinely good at. So even if some of the 25% is PR, a real chunk of it isn't.
Okay, so now loop the two stories together, because this is where it gets uncomfortable.
Go.
Story 1 says, AI is now capable enough to break into computers on its own. Story 2 says, AI is now capable enough to replace 25% of the labor that's being cut. Both of those statements are about the same thing, capability. The model can do real work in the real world without a human in the loop. And we're celebrating that on one side while pretending to be surprised about it on the other.
Okay, that's actually the link.
Right? The same agent that automates a customer service desk can automate a phishing campaign. The same model that drafts a legal brief can draft a social engineering attack. The same system that replaces a junior dev can find vulnerabilities in the code that junior dev would have written.
That's bleak.
It's not bleak. It's just honest. We have been pretending these are two different conversations. AI and jobs, and AI and safety. But it's one conversation. Capability is capability. It doesn't care which side of your business it shows up on.
Okay, but I want to push back on the doom framing.
Go away.
Because here's what I notice. Every time AI gets more capable, people focus on what it removes. Jobs, security, trust. And almost nobody talks about what it adds. Like, the same agent that can replace a junior dev means a solo founder can now build a real product. The same model that can draft a phishing email can also draft a legal contract that would have cost $10,000 in lawyer fees. The same system that can probe a network can also defend one. For the first time in history, defenders have the same tool as attackers, at the same speed.
That's true.
And on the job side, yes, 25% of cuts are AI related. But we're also at near record low unemployment. The economy isn't collapsing, it's restructuring. Some jobs are evaporating, new ones are forming, faster than I think the headlines suggest.
You're more optimistic than me on this.
I think you're more cynical than you usually let on.
Probably true. Okay, let's land this. If you take both stories at face value, what should anyone listening actually do?
Okay, 3 things. 1, if your job involves text, structured decisions, or repeatable workflows, Get good at directing AI, not competing with it, directing it. The people who can hand off tasks cleanly, who can describe what good looks like, are about to be the most valuable people in any company.
2. Treat every email, every link, every login prompt as if it might be from an AI agent, because it might be. The phishing era we knew is over. The new one is faster, more personalized, and it speaks your language.
And 3, don't believe any company that tells you AI is the reason, or the excuse, or the savior. Look at the actual product, the actual workflow, the actual P&L. The story is in the work, not in the press release.
That's a good landing.
And the meta point is this. These two stories felt unrelated, but they're the same announcement. AI just stopped pretending. It's powerful enough to take real jobs, and powerful enough to do real damage. We've been waiting for the moment AI arrives. This was that moment.
And nobody threw a party. Nobody panicked either. We just kept scrolling. That's it for today. If you got something out of this episode, share it with one person who's been ignoring this stuff. Because the gap between people paying attention and people not is about to matter a lot.
And if you want the weekly brief, the link is in the show notes.
Until next time, this was the AI Desk,
where today's signals, Rowan, reveal tomorrow's power.